Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful souls. Veronica in the house, here for day 3 of our 5-day live stream, liberating live stream party. So today I'm answering a question about change and transition. Change and transition. How do you move through a big transition or a massive change in your life constructively? How do you handle such change, reduce stress, and actually move through peacefully? Is it even possible? So if you are in the middle of a change, which really we always are, life is change, then keep watching. Today's video is especially for you. The question that I'm going to be responding to today is Jordan's question. And I just want to say before reading the question, Jordan, and to anyone else watching, if you are going through a radical change right now, let's just start by taking a breath, because the reality is change is not always easy, and it is extraordinarily, it's like the ego basically living a familiar comfort zone is one of the only times in our life where we actually can feel the ego is settled, right? The ego just wants to keep us kind of in the same reality. So when we go through change, which is part of life, it's the only thing that doesn't change, is change itself. It's really important to be gentle on ourselves. So through this video, I encourage you to take a few deep breaths, love yourself up, light some candles, put on music, do whatever you need to do to breathe a little more deeply. So Jordan asks, one challenge that I could use support with is I recently just left my job of 12 years. I wanted to leave the job over the previous few years, but remained at the job to support my wife and be there for a friend of mine who was terminally ill. He has passed away, and about a year ago, a year after he passed away, I left that job. I'm having some difficulty adapting to my new life without that environment. Bonjour. I'm so happy you're here live, Jordan. And without being in the space where my friend used to be. Feeling like I left him behind. I know that's not the case, but it's hard. It's been a hard adjustment. I'm currently working for myself. So here's the core of the question. I'm currently working for myself and trying to make something of my own for the first time in my life. Can anyone relate to this? Are you on the brink of change, left a career or some kind of work environment or relationship or anything, and you're standing on your own 2 feet for the first time in a brand new way? So the challenge that I need support with is how to, Alyssa, I love you. I'm so happy you're here. The challenge that I need support with is how to handle this transition period between my job and the loss of my friend. Thank you as always, Veronica. All right, Jordan, such an incredible question. So let's keep breathing. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, everybody. Hello to the Netherlands. Please feel free to write in who is here. I am going to be focused on the content, and that at the end, if we have some time, I'll take a few questions or comments. Okay. So change is inevitable. It is part of life. The ego does everything it can to try and keep us from change. However, it is, when we take these big leaps, they're more like leaving a job. I'm going to just give you a story to like paint a picture here. In 2005, I left my corporate job. I was working at Warner Brother Records. I had been there for six and a half years, and I left. And I was super excited to leave. And I thought it was going to be the greatest thing in the world, which it was. And what happened was I remember feeling very depressed and down. I don't know if it was depressed, but I just felt yucky. I felt agitated. I felt out of sorts. And it took somebody actually saying to me, I remember I was laying in my office on the floor and I was like, why do I feel this? My home office. Why do I feel this way? And I realized a friend, a very wise friend, said, Veronica, and I'm sharing this with you now, paying it forward now. She said, Veronica, you're going through a grief period, right? When one thing ends, we don't grieve when people just when people die, which Jordan, you're going through double whammo, right? Because a dear friend of yours has passed away, And I'm, just sending you a lot of love in that direction and healing. And at the same time, everything that passes, not just people, circumstances, events, realities, jobs, careers, friendships, those are actually deaths. They're mini deaths. And so they need to actually be felt. They need to be grieved. So I remember, what I'm going to share with you today are 5 steps to moving through a transition with grace. And also keep in mind what I share here. It's most important to be patient and just breathe, right? Because it's not always going to be easy, but I'm going to help you to move through the discomfort with greater power. Okay. So in that time of my life when I was like, I left the corporate world, was super excited. I had this dream and this vision of becoming an actress, and that's actually what I was doing. And I was also in graduate school for my master's in spiritual psychology. I used that focus time to complete my graduate studies and to go audition. I went through pilot season, the whole acting thing. And I was totally surprised to feel as badly as I did because I was living an incredible life and I felt horrible. So I wish someone would have given me these 5 steps. So the one step to start with, where you are right now in regards to change and transition, is to identify and embrace what you're feeling right now. Without this first step, what I'm giving you is not going to be useful. And most people skip this first step. It's the most important step. Ask yourself every morning, right now, what do you feel right now? What's present for you? So for me, I felt extremely empty. I no longer could hide behind, hi, I'm Veronica Cresto and I work at Warner Brother Records. And, that was my identity, and it was a confidence builder. So I felt very empty and I felt sad and depressed. So to actually ask yourself that and just breathe into it and feel into it. When you own it and accept it, oh, this is what I'm feeling, it pulls you into the present moment. And what that does is when you identify the feelings where you feel them in the body, you're no longer trying to avoid the feeling, which is what is creating the misery. And you just own it. Yeah, you know what? This is a hard time. I'm in transition right now. I have no friggin' idea what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, that sort of thing. And be really honest about where you are. So once you do that, and this is not just a one-time thing, it's like housekeeping, you keep the house clean. The second thing is to release the past through self-forgiveness. I want to go deep on number 1, but I've made so many videos on that. Do the inner work, breathe, ask yourself, what do I feel? Where am I feeling it? Breathe into it, own it. Can you accept this part of you? Can you, just let yourself feel what you're feeling before moving to step 2, which is to release the past. So the past career or the past person in your life, your dear friend who passed away, the career that you left, it's time to release it. And grief is a beautiful way of doing this. And I'm not saying to forget. I'm saying, like, with your friend, first of all, that's entirely your pace and what you need to go through. But as far as a job is concerned, it's complete, it's over, it's gone. My days at Warner Brother are gone. They'll never come back, right? So when it's really important to release the past, because a trick of the ego is to actually keep us locked in the past so that we don't fully expand into what we're here to expand into. So a subtle way of doing that is thinking, did I make a mistake? Oh my God. Or Jordan, what you shared in a follow-up note with your friend is like, there's this guilt about having left the job and like somehow you left him, because you have all these memories in that office with him. And it's so precious, that you have those moments and those memories with him. And just, I want to point out, it's a subtle trick of the ego, keeping you in a guilt story, telling you that by leaving the job, you did something wrong. And it can be very, very subtle, but just catch that. Because and you said it in your email as well, your friend is always accessible. That connection, that love is never lost, even with him being beyond his body now. So note, how do you release the past in step 2? Release the past through self-forgiveness is a fantastic way. We went through this 2 days ago in day 1 of our video live stream challenge party. And but another way is through ritual. This is super fun. So to release the past life, right, which is big, it's like, transition is basically a passage from one reality to another. So it's important to honor that previous form as you step into the new form. So a way to do that is through ritual or some kind of practice. And there are many things you can do, but one thing is you could write a letter to your past, to the past job, just write a letter to your past self, and just let it all out. Let all the feelings out, anything that comes forward. This is what I learned. This is what I hated. This is what I loved. And at the end, just say, you know, beloved life, beloved career at Warner Brothers, or whatever is for you, I release you completely as I make space for the new me to emerge. And then you release that. You release that by burning it safely in a fireplace, and just set the intention to release the past. These things are just, intention is what matters here. So set an intention that backs releasing the past. Doesn't matter what you do. You can fling, cat poop in the air and go, woohoo, I release the past. And as long as your intention, I'm actually serious, like as long as you have the pure intention backing your action, that's what tells the story, not what you're doing. You could do all this great stuff and not have the powerful intention behind it, but it's, not going to do anything, because the intention is everything. Okay. So, and as far as self-forgiveness, a great forgiveness statement for you, Jordan, for example, is anywhere I bought into the belief that I have abandoned my friend through leaving this job, I cancel, clear, and delete it, and I forgive myself completely. Or anywhere I bought into the belief that I will never be able to stand on my 2 feet financially, yes, in my own business, I cancel, clear, and delete it, and I forgive myself completely. Anywhere I bought into the misinterpretation of reality that I need to work in corporate America in order to be alive and functioning or financially stable, I cancel, clear, and delete it, and I forgive myself completely. So you just start cleaning up the past, those past beliefs. The Diamond Process book has a whole chapter devoted to it. It's week 5 in the Diamond Process book. Okay, and the third step to transitioning with ease is to stand for what you choose, okay? Stand firmly for what you're choosing. This is crucial. So it is so important that you ask yourself, what is it that you're here to stand for? What do you choose? The default mind, the trance of negativity, is likely going to try and go back to the past and the guilt and, oh, this, that, and the other. It's so essential to take a stand, put your staff in the ground, and go, this is what I choose. I choose that my business, that I wake up each morning loving what I am doing. Everything I need comes to me when I need it. I am giving generously. All my needs are met in every single moment. I have everything I need. I have all the support I need. I'm thriving in my new business. I love what I am doing, right? So like write a declaration and maybe read that every morning, or just have one sentence that you repeat, a really powerful one. This came up at the retreat. All my needs are met. All my needs are met. Oh, awesome, Emily. All my needs are met. All my needs are met. Just affirm that again and again, and look back in your history and you'll see that that is the absolute truth. So in step 3 here, mindset mastery is everything. Like this is, oh my goodness, just be a discerning person. So discernment is knowing which thoughts to empower and which thoughts to let go of. What is your vision and what are you moving towards? If a thought is telling you something, it's just use the self-forgiveness statement, whatever your tool is, to be discerning and only empower, meaning only continue thinking about or investing time in the thoughts that are pushing you forward. Now that's a whole life. Like success is 80% mindset. So, and that's a lifelong journey. So just what are you declaring about your life? And do you have the courage to choose it? Do you have, many people don't. Many people don't want to choose their highest reality because they're afraid, if I voice this and I fail, I will be too ashamed to, like, I'll be so ashamed. But what most people do is they don't go for it all the way, and they just kind of think about the past and don't go full throttle, and then they never actually have to deal with knowing they tried everything and didn't actually succeed. The truth is there is no failure. The only failure is not absolutely like taking the leap into, going for what you're here to do, not trying. Okay. So first thing, identify and embrace what you're feeling right now. Second step, release the past through self-forgiveness or some kind of ritual that feels really good to you with a powerful intention, giving yourself permission to totally shed that old skin, that old reality, that old identity as you open up to number 3, which is taking a stand for what your heart wants to create now in the present moment. Write out a declaration, post it up, maybe write a mission statement, speak it out loud every single day until it just ingrains in your brain and this is who you are and this is your new reality. At that time, I was an actress. That was what my truth was. That's what I wanted to be. That's everything I did was to focus, it was a very challenging time, but I put everything I could into that. And it served me so well because it was a stepping stone into the real work I was here to do. It helped me get comfortable on camera, get comfortable public speaking, find my voice. I was very shy. So whatever your passion is, whatever you're standing for now, it doesn't mean it will be forever. It just means that it is a true step on your path, and trust it and give your all to it now. Number 4, focus on your offering. Oh my goodness, if you want the biggest confidence boost instantly and to feel strong in your current reality, in your new life, in this transition, is just focus on your offering. So if the mind goes to the past or a fear of the future, focus on your offering. What are you giving right now? What are you giving? I wish someone told me this back then. What are you giving now? Hello, Priyanta. What are you giving? So as an actress, I was so focused on myself. If somebody would have looked at me and said, Veronica, what are you giving other people right now? And can you focus on that? Can you look out and serve, give? That would have moved me from all the self-consciousness I was facing and overthinking to self-awareness and generosity. So what can you do right now to focus? So with your new business, Jordan, and anyone watching this, for example, how can you serve your client so that they are so ridiculously satisfied? They're like, who the frick is this man? Like, I have to work with this person every day of my life. Like, so it's like, how can I serve even more? I'm always thinking about this with my coaching programs, with the coach training program. We're always giving added value, and anywhere we see there's opportunity to give more, we give more. We give, we give, we give. And there's always going to be the person that's like, it's not enough or blah, blah, blah. But that's a rare percentage, right? That's just a rare percentage. Most people will feel your intention and your generosity, and it moves you out of the lack mentality, I need, something's lacking, to I am an infinite supply, and you just go into this generosity. What are you giving? The more you focus on giving, it will come back to you tenfold, I assure you of this. And then the 5th, so that's a high target, like have that high target rather than, you want to know your numbers, obviously, for your business, your new business. What do I choose to make every month, and what's the gap if there is one right now? And what do you need to do to fill that gap, right? So you need a clear vision and target. But I'd say also make it a high target, meaning make sure that service is the primary foundation. So how can I give so much that people just want to work with me at that next level? And I don't know, you just think about how you can make someone's day every single day. Absolutely, Emily. Does volunteering your time count? You are a perfect embodiment of this, Emily. Yeah, and talking to strangers, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's not something you'll ever need to worry about given our conversation. And yeah, you are a powerful giver. Part of your journey might be about charging what you're worth, receiving, those sorts of things. So we have both. Both of those are always active. How can I give so much that I'm able to charge what I'm worth? And both of those need to be in place in order to be balanced. So number 5 is to put a solid system in place. Put a solid system in place. This is going to really relax the ego mind. When we create a plan, if you're ever panicking, get a piece of paper out and just draw a plan out for your life. And notice what happens to your nervous system when you actually put a step-by-step plan together. Okay, that's what relaxes the ego. What relaxes the soul is a whole nother thing. It's called presence and actually being here, starting with step 1, breathing, right? Connecting, being with whatever you're feeling rather than sidestepping it. But the 5th step is really about putting a solid plan in place and be patient as you apply it. So when I say a solid plan or structure, think of this, put the 4 S's in place. So the first is support. What is your support system? Do you have an accountability partner? Do you have a business coach? Do you have a massage therapist or a healer, somebody to support you? Do you have books are great as well. The second is your schedule. Get crystal clear, and this is about boundary setting. If you want to transition with ease or make a change with ease, healthy boundaries are going to be really important, because when you have, basically ended one thing, it can feel like there's emptiness. And if there's emptiness, oftentimes just unnecessary crap will fill that emptiness. It's kind of the way life works, unless you're very intentional. So if you know what your boundaries are, on Mondays I work on my business. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays I work with clients. On Wednesdays I work on my business. Whatever it is. For me now, I take the last week starting now, basically I've been easing into this, transitioning into this, the last week of my coaching business totally off. And December ideally is completely off. So have these structures in place so that you have, well, actually, let me get to number 3. So number 3 is self-care. So have your self-care in place. Self-care in place. So when you're looking at your schedule, for example, what do you need to make sure your self-care is in place? So for me, my mornings are mine. I didn't start that way, but you just transition, make a map of your ideal and then steadily move into that. So my mornings are mine. I have other colleagues and friends. Their mornings are their most productive hours, so they do their work first, right? So look at what your ideal schedule is and map it out. So what does that mean? When you have a very clear schedule, it's very easy for you to have solid boundaries, because if somebody comes in and says, I'm freaking out, I need you to do this for me, or it's like, sorry, this is my job, because this is your job, Jordan, and everyone watching. If your transition is work related, this is your job. It's just as important as someone in the corporate world. This is your livelihood. This is how you feed yourself. This is how you serve our world. It has to be treated with the same respect that you treat a corporate job. You may not have a boss now, but you still need to respect your boss, and your boss is you. So how do you respect yourself? Healthy boundaries, solid systems in place. If somebody calls me in the middle of a work day and I don't even have a session booked, but I have something, I'm working on my business or some kind of business plan or whatever it is, I'm not going to take, my phone is usually on airplane mode. I'm not going to take in other people's demands, because life will be endlessly throwing those at you if you don't have solid boundaries up. Really important. I can't stress that one enough, because that's where most people dip. And then the 4th S of your structure is what the shamans call samankwi. Samankwi. So this is a Quechuan word, and it basically means a serene state. It's like having space. So in your schedule, I would make sure to book, make sure that you have scheduled, yes, radical self-care. Make sure you have scheduled space. So what I mean by that, before I made this live stream, I don't sit there and clutter my brain with stuff. I actually sit here and I look out the window and I gaze. I'm not thinking. I go into total, absolute emptiness. Empty everything out, and that's where the best ideas come. That's where everything comes from. So solutions to every problem. Have you ever noticed when you're in the shower, they'll come in or something like that? Because your brain is empty. You're just present. You're just feeling the water, whatever. So carving out time for samankwi is so important. It's like plugging into your higher self, to your truth, so that you make sure you're always course correcting and getting back in alignment with the transition you're in. Like you're aligning your day with your target through samankwi. What you need to know will come through. It's like really trusting that spaciousness, which our culture does not at all support. So it's about taking a stand for this, especially when you're creating your own business and your own life. So those are the 5 steps to transitioning with ease. Number 1 is to identify, embrace what you're feeling now. Own it, accept it, and that way you can absolutely release it and flow into step 2, which is to release the past through self-forgiveness. Or through some kind of ritual. The 3rd is to stand for what you choose. What do you choose? This is a new beginning. This is a new beginning. Like, this is a new beginning. You can create anything right now. What are you choosing? What do you stand for? What are you here to do right now? Anything is possible from here, right? So stand in that. Anything is possible. Whatever your declaration is, all my needs are met. I am getting through every single challenge, every negative thought, every problem with so much more ease than I used to in the past. Like, affirm whatever you need to affirm and change your physiology. Just take a stand for the version of you that is birthing right now, right? The 4th is to focus on your offering. So make sure that in your offering, some part of what you're doing in the world is revolved around what can I give? If you want to, awesome, Julie, if you want to make an incredibly generous living, don't focus so much on the money. Focus on your generosity. I can't even, and charging what you're worth, obviously, but focus on what you are giving and go the extra mile that most people would not go, okay? And think about how others are, like serving others and just making even nature, like say to the trees, you're beautiful, I love you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let that move you forward. What are you grateful for? Let that lead you. And then the 5th step is to put a solid system in place. This is going to relax the ego. What is your schedule? What is your business plan? If there's some financial gap right now, what plan do you have to put in place? How many more sales calls or whatever it is in your business, Jordan? I know you mentioned it in your email. What do you need to put in place to make it realistic to meet those numbers? And also, what days of the week are you working? What days of the week are you taking for yourself? Make sure to have time for yourself scheduled. So important. And the 2nd is to get a business coach or an accountability partner. Before I had a business coach, I had what I used to call a partner in shine years ago. And that was super powerful. I also have a group of girlfriends that are powerhouses, and we connect every month and we just hold each other. So have that ideally daily or weekly accountability, even if it's just on text, especially in the beginning of a transition. And 3rd is self-care as far as the solid system. And the 4th is saman-kui. Have space for yourself, even if it's 20 minutes in the morning, which is my favorite. And just let yourself put your feet on the earth, breathe, and every time your mind goes to a thought, it's okay, let it go, and then come back to the present moment. Come back to this moment, and let that be the foundation of your life. So I hope that this serves you in some way. If there's one parting statement I want to say is be really gentle with yourself. Be patient. You're in the middle of this glorious transition, and it's not always going to be perfect. And just let all the mess of it be joyous, and let the power, you're going to have moments of acceleration and moments of questioning, and it's all great. It's all part of it. I have been struggling with this, and listening to your wording today has shifted the ideas that I didn't have the right mindset on. You had that is so awesome. Yeah, Jordan, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. How do we master our minds? And I will say this transition is giving you an opportunity to just master your mind. And that's the real gold that your soul is going to leave this life with. How did you evolve in consciousness? And any challenge that comes our way, it's like, can that be an exciting opportunity to breathe a little more deeply, and then discern, choose a better thought, choose a thought. So I'm going to give you an example before closing out here. In the past, I used to, when money would run low, I would freak the F out, and I would panic and freak out. And one day I thought about someone really successful. I'd panic, and then maybe someone else would come save me or rescue me or things like that. That was my limited pattern. One day I had this thought. I thought of someone really successful in my life, and how this person would always just when he saw a problem, he would find a solution. So he would put himself out there more, or he would find ways to cultivate income. And I remember I did that back then, that little shift in consciousness of just going, okay, normally I would freak out here, but this is just an opportunity to make more money or to be even more powerful in the world or to strengthen my authority or leadership. How can I do that? Right? Jordan, you are going to thrive. I will tell you, for some reason, I'm always answering your questions and responding to you. There's an energetic to you that there's no doubt in my mind you're designed and born to thrive. Trust yourself above all else. And everyone watching, know you've touched on this video because these words are for you too. Trust yourself, be patient, and know that anything's possible. And I acknowledge you for stepping out of the comfort zone and into what's possible, because it is only in the space you're in right now, this unknown space, that true magic and miracles are born. So congratulations, and I'm sending you guys all my love. If you received some value from this video, if you got something from it, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know what you like, and I can always add on to this by making another video in the future. Just leave a comment, let me know if you have questions, and I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow's time is totally different. Tomorrow is day 4 of the day 5 liberating challenge. Priyantha, I think I'm answering one of your questions in the next couple of days. And tomorrow we are going live on 2 o'clock Pacific time. So I will see you guys at 2 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow, Friday. And if you want to ask questions, go to veronicacresto.com, send in your question, or what do you call it? Opt into my newsletter, and that's how I'm communicating with you guys. So if you have a question, you can respond to one of my newsletters, and then I can make a video on it. All right, you guys, and please check out the hashtag Mindful YouTube University. That's why we're doing this. I wanted to draw attention to those who graduated Mindful YouTube University so you can watch their videos. Just in the YouTube search engine, go to hashtag Mindful YouTube University. There's some incredible souls making their first live streams ever who just did Mindful YouTube University, and they have very inspiring, empowering messages that are a great add-on to the support structure that will help you move forward in your life. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Shbella, I don't know if you have your YouTube channel yet, but Shbella is a perfect example of this, and she makes incredible malas, and she's about to get certified as a diamond process coach, so make sure to check out her channel. Even though she doesn't have videos up yet, she will. And just loving you guys with all of my heart, and I'll see you tomorrow. Breathe deep. That's where all the magic is. All right, you guys, you're welcome.